What's up, guys? Chris from Review Cave here, and it's been a while since I've been doing my manga reviews, unfortunately, due to scheduling problems with me having to have a certain area available to me during the day so I can make my recordings. And as you can tell, this isn't my back room or from a desk in my basement. I moved to the basement, but I have a new table, and I figured I'd try this new way of doing videos, see if this is a bit better. The lighting isn't the best compared to how it was before. It's also not too bright, so I figured it'd be a bit better like this, and it kind of resembles my earlier review style videos in vlog form. But anyway, Chapter 296 of My Hero Academia has officially released a week ago, and I am finally going to give you my thoughts on it. I honestly wanted to do it the exact same day as the One Piece Chapter 1000 review along with Black Clover, but I ended up putting that aside because I didn't have enough time, and I have a limited amount of time to record in this space without bothering anyone in my house. So, yeah, and before anyone asks, I don't have a room anymore where I could talk and not bother anybody. This is honestly more, whatever. Anyway, so Chapter 296 of My Hero Academia, basically recounting the aftermath of what happened in this current war arc. We see a few pages showing Shigaraki, now possessed by the vestige of All for One, escaping on his near high-end Nomu, and we get to see a bunch of heroes try and stop them. We do see that they managed to take down. It is stated that they did take down a few of the high-end Nomu, but Shigaraki, I'm just gonna call him All for One from now, even though Shigaraki is kind of. It's supposed to be All for One's real last name. You know what? I'm just going to say Shigaraki. It's much easier. But anyway, Shigaraki manages to escape with a few of his near high-end Nomu, while a bunch of other heroes were also injured during the chaos. We do get to see a few panels spread showing Pixie Bop 13, and President Mike, all as well as the number 10 hero Wash, trying to, attempt to take down Shigaraki and capture him. But the newly awakened All for One within him has managed to elude all the heroes' capture. And he also has Spinner and Dabi, and I believe Skeptic is with him as well. So that's something. And one thing you want to notice, 13's left arm is gone. So a lot of people have brought this up in their own reviews or discussions about the chapter. It's very possible that 13 got hit by a bit of the decay wave, and she had to use her black hole ability to rip off her own arm before it could spread to the rest of her body. So 13 lost her arm so she could still live, which is similar, which I find kind of interesting considering that Miracle also lost an arm in her fight against those near high ends. Well, the original high end Nomu actually. That were unleashed by the Doctor back at the start of this war arc, which, again, it's hard to believe that it's actually been roughly a year since this war arc started, and now it's finally come to a close. I think we got maybe one more chapter coming out later this week that'll probably cap off this arc and then start off the next one. But we get more images of the chaos going around. The aftermath of Gigantomachia's rampage. We do get confirmation that aside from Gigantomachia and Mr. Compress, we also get more people that have been captured by the Meta Liberation Front. We see the finale of the fight between Redestro and Edgeshot, which, let me remind you this, we only had a brief glimpse of it back in the middle of this arc, back when the third, and an interesting matchup. One thing I hope is at the end, since due to the length of this arc, I do think that this whole arc will be the 6th whole season. Will it? I'm not sure, but from the length, it's very possible. It's the longest arc in My Hero Academia. I think it's longer than the Overhaul arc. Actually, no, it isn't longer than the Overhaul arc at this point. And if it's the whole season, they could take some of these other fights that we've gotten glimpses of and kind of fill in the blanks in the anime. And a real fight between Edgeshot and Redestro seems like a pretty cool fight for us to get, even if it is a few minutes long, and then we cut back to another fight and only just cut back to the finale of it, the aftermath. But yeah, we got confirmation that Redestro, Getten, and Trumpet were officially apprehended by the heroes, as well as a good chunk of the Meta Liberation Army, or the Paranormal Liberation Front. Now, One thing I need to state is how many people got captured, which I honestly have the page right here. Here we go. So 132 members of the Paranormal Liberation Front actually managed to escape the raid, but over 16,000 were captured. So that's something very interesting to see. But yeah, another thing, in that page where we saw that it was confirmed that Getten, Trumpet, and Redustor were captured, we see Cementos on the ground with an ice shard in his torso, possibly incredibly injured and possibly clinging to life. And yeah, then we officially cut to the widespread devastation from Gigantomachia's rampage going straight to where Shigaraki was at Jakku. And this chaos is honestly very, very big. It's a lot of chaos, a lot of destruction. The carnage, I have to admit, is way more than I was expecting to see. But props to Horikoshi for managing to really sell us on the craziness and chaotic nature of the situation. People are stung under rubble. People are probably dead or injured from debris. And heroes and police officers, as well as other emergency responders, and are there as well. We get brief glimpses of what everyone's doing, and we get to see Uraraka and Froppy, or Uravity and Froppy, if I'm going to call them by their hero names, but Uraraka and Tsuyu managed to actually save a bunch of kids from getting crushed under rubble. And Uraraka is doing her absolute best to use her quirk to save as many people as she possibly can, because, let's face it, in a situation like this, if the circumstances aren't too dire, her quirk is the best possible way to help people get free from under debris. And she was trained to be a rescue hero, so it makes perfect sense. This is her element. She and Tsuyu can actually use their quirks to the fullest extent to help people get out of these specific situations. But as she keeps going, as she's getting exhausted, she looks off to the side and she sees a hero just dumbstruck at the carnage that he's seeing. He's like, this is just too much. We see everything that's going on, all the heroes and people trying to help. And then at the bottom, with Uraraka looking on in disbelief, this hero says, I need to look for a new career. Or in the Scans translation, I need to look for a new job. And that is insane. So a common theme ever since the Stain arc was that there have been these quote-unquote fake heroes. People that have just been in it for the money and the fame. And let's be honest, if you were in a world where being a hero seeming could get you a pretty good paycheck, you'd probably be someone who was like, okay, I have a pretty good quirk. I'll go to school for this. I'll become a licensed hero. I'll help people and I'll get paid for it. And if I get famous, that'll be something really great. I love to be famous. Not everybody is going to go in for just the sake of, I'm going to help people. I'm going into this because I want to help people. There aren't that many. The current generation of heroes, yes, there are those that want to help people, but also have kind of selfish goals in their own way. Everyone's selfish. It's how humanity we all are. But to just see Uraraka was in it for the money originally, but now she really wants to help people. That's something she really, truly wants to do. And I guess looking at this dumbstruckness of a pro hero is, going to affect her in some way, but possibly even strengthen her resolve to be a hero that the people actually need. But the chapter doesn't stop swinging there. We move on and back to the forest where we see Mina and Kirishima crying over someone as Yaoyorozu is in the back also crying. And it is confirmed. I mean, I kind of figured this back when this happened a couple of chapters ago, but Midnight is confirmed to have been dead, to be killed by Liberation Front members. I mean, I had a feeling she was going to be dead, but we didn't see her body in that chapter or any chapters after that, so I figured maybe she could have gone away with some very fatal injury, something fatal or mortally wounded, and maybe she passes away in front of them, similar to Night Eye in the overall arc, but no, she's dead. And then we get one full page showing us a good chunk of heroes that we both know and don't know that have died in this raid. On top is Midnight, because she is the most important and the most featured pro that is very equivalent to this story, as well as Yaoyorozu's development as a leader and a strategist. We also get Crust, obviously, and I think I do kind of agree with everybody. Crust dying in this arc was the main reason why it was created. It was introduced only to be killed off in this arc, just to show that a member of the top 10 heroes was killed in this arc. Ryukyu, a bunch of other top 10 heroes, Endeavor, Ryukyu, Mirko, they're all mortally injured, and I believe Wash is as well. We didn't see any other members of the top three. Not to mention Hawks probably can't work in hero work along with Mirko. So this war arc has a lot of victims. And after seeing all these heroes, like aside from X-Les, we also got like X-Les, who, let's face it, was just fodder. It's just, it's how it is. But yeah, we got X-Les. We also got, surprisingly enough, we had Native. Remember in the Stain arc, Native, the guy who Stain said was a fake hero, and yeah, that's something, honestly, insanity. Native, I didn't think we were going to see him like at all after that arc, and that's something very interesting. But the key piece of information I want to say, and I kind of skipped, I'm kind of going back, I'm kind of like jumping around a little bit, is this little these 3 panel boxes, this one panel with just 3 boxes of text. It clearly says that Shigaraki had truly died. His rebirth was cut short the moment the equipment was destroyed. The slight zap of electricity, which the nearby X-Les didn't even feel himself, wasn't enough to actually revive Shigaraki. But what brought him back to life was his dream and his hatred. So Shigaraki's own tenacious nature and his own ambition is what really brought him back from the brink of death. So talk about that's literally something you get an anime protagonist gets. And Shigaraki is the protagonist of his own story of the villains. So it makes perfect sense. We then get the next 2 pages solely focused on the public's reaction to all this. Stuff like Hawks and Endeavor, the whole Endeavor scandal and everything, being like, isn't he supposed to protect us? So we see some of the murmurs of people questioning the hero system in general. And then, as we see 2 panels of the injured and passed out Endeavor and Deku, people are saying stuff like, oh, let's move abroad, or we don't have the money for that, and that Endeavor should really say something the next day. Which we all know he's not, because he's probably going to be bedridden for a long amount of time. But yeah, that's something. I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what the hell's going to happen next. And I think everyone agrees Deku has to tell everyone about One for All now after this arc, especially with what the end of this chapter is going to talk about. The one thing I want to talk about really quickly is that we actually get to see 2 of the kids that Bakugo and Todoroki were actually like teaching or befriending in their provisional licensing exam retakes, essentially, those special classes that they had. And they're saying, like, questioning, are we all going to be okay? And one of them says, yeah, we'll be fine. We got those guys. And let's see, what was it called? 5 weenies? 5 weenies. That's just hilarious. But yeah, so those kids actually do have hope for the future, despite everything going on with Endeavor and Hawks. They met these heroes in training. They got to know them, even if it was only briefly, and they actually do believe that they could actually do something. So there is some sort of hope for the future of Hero Society. Not too big, though. However, the last 2 pages set up the very next arc. We cut straight to Tartarus on a cloudy night, and it's the very night of everything's finally settling down, sort of, at least for us, the readers. All for One says that he can feel something. His expectations were off, but it won't be long now. So, his expectations, what were they? Were they the fact that Shigaraki would have overcome One for All's consciousness after obtaining All for One, and fighting everyone off? Or possibly how long it would have taken for Shigaraki to actually have woken up? I'm not sure. It could be that he actually did intend for Shigaraki to come and actually overcome his own consciousness within All for One. Or maybe he would have expected it to be a lot shorter for Shigaraki to be overtaken by his own personality. That's something I'm not so sure. But the last page, with Spinner and Dabi looking off, I'm just going to read this word for word because it's honestly very intimidating and sets out the very next arc, which I can assume won't be too long, but yeah, this is something that people have been theorizing for a long time. So first, why do they assume tomorrow will come for them? No, I won't grant them a moment's rest, because it's my turn now, and my turn will never end. Hear me, my tireless Nomu. It's time to free my real body. So, What is this? The Prison Break arc has officially been confirmed. Something that, in all honesty, every single My Hero fan has speculated and theorized ever since All For One was put into prison. Everyone thought that there would be some sort of, especially since the Tartarus arc, Tartarus is named after an actual prison in Greek mythology and had to do with the Titans and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into that. But it seems that All For One was officially planning to be removed from prison. Now, how this Prison Break arc will play out, I'm not entirely sure, but due to the fact that a bunch of heroes are most likely mortally injured or exhausted due to the efforts in this war arc in this raid, there probably isn't going to be any real security at Tartarus, so we can actually expect All For One just storming in and try and finding his real body. Now, how that'll work, I'm not entirely sure. This could honestly be a video all in and of itself. Could we see two All For Ones at the exact same time? Or will Shigaraki, possessed by All For One, go to the original, siphon off whatever quirks are left, then kill him off? That way there can only be one of him. That's something really very interesting. And honestly something that I really do hope could happen, because having two All For Ones could be very problematic for the story in the sense that we have two versions of the exact same antagonist, the same villain. I think it's been done before, but that's usually been with like time travel or cloning. But I'm honestly excited for this Prison Break arc because for all we know, Shigaraki can wrestle back control of his consciousness and take full control over his body and quirks, kill All For One himself, and cement himself as the overall big bad of the story, and then we set up for a time skip. But yeah, this was honestly a really good chapter, tying up the aftermath of what has just happened in the story, and I look forward to what's going to happen next time. But yeah, with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will do my best to make these chapter reviews come out weekly as I usually did, like over this past year before the fall season started. But I will, in fact, do everything I can to bring out more videos for My Hero, Black Clover, One Piece, and possibly some more series if I have the opportunity. But yeah, with all that said and done, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I really hope you guys enjoyed My Hero Academia as much as I did. So, I will see you around.